that day of the exact trains and exact bus bombed at the exact same time and place. That is impossible. And he got out in the open and said, oh, it's quite curious. We're running the drill of the exact place and exact time. It's quite amazing, quite unbelievable. It's the same M.O. over and over and over again. And they get these young students, and they tell them, here's backpacks, do the drill. And some of them figured it out and ran, so they were machine gunned at the Canary Wharf. That came out in the news. The police were hunting them down, killing them. They killed other witnesses, execution style, like the Brazilian man, who witnesses said the police came up, this is days after, sat on him in front of everybody, held him down, and then shot him 17 times in the head. Executed him. And you've got Colonel Stephen Butler at the Defense Language School in Monterey, California, coming out and saying the government was behind this attack in a letter to the editor. I call up his home. Back in the day, then I was doing a lot of my own producing, and I said, please come on. Some woman in the background was saying, no, don't go on that show. We're being threatened. And he said, I'm sorry, I can't talk. Then they threatened to court-martial him if he didn't shut up. And what did he say? The government was behind it, and he said that the hijackers were trained at military bases, and he had seen them. It goes on and on. I've got Newsweek reported hijackers trained at U.S. military bases. And this is all information I covered in Road to Tyranny and previous films. Perhaps we should bring all that information back and show it to people and then ask you, the listeners, these are facts. The government's getting Mutallab on the plane, the underwear bomber. Anwar al-Awlaki, who's admittedly secretly dining at the Pentagon, source Fox News, Associated Press. It's not denied. Good people inside the Pentagon last year leaked this information. The Pentagon did not deny the authenticity of the leaks. I'm not going to go through hundreds of these points. And what did it say? 2 months after 9/11, the #3 guy in al-Qaeda, he's arguably #1 today under Osama bin Laden and al-Qaeda, was at the Pentagon having meetings with the Secretary of the Army and the top brass. Now that's admitted fact, and it's the same in every case. The head of the 7/7 bombings, a SWAT. This even came out on Fox News. This even came out in the London Telegraph. He was admittedly MI6 running the operation and was protected and allowed to leave the country and even come back in when it was on the news that he was the mastermind. This goes on and on and on and on. And who is Anwar al-Awlaki, the CIA lackey? Who is he? He's the guy who the government and the media tells us ran the Fort Hood shooter, ran the underwear bomber, ran the shoe bomber, ran the Times Square bomber. For 2 years, he was reportedly in daily contact with the Army psychiatrist who shot up Fort Hood, Major Hassan. And when the Congress said, we want to see those emails, the CIA declared national security. How do they declare national security over the legislative branch of government? That's the real government, if anything is, in this out-of-control bureaucracy. And they said national security. But yes, he was under the control of Anwar al-Awlaki. I mean, this is all on record. And now Wikileaks comes out and says, oh my gosh, new evidence of the support teams and the casing teams for the hijackers. And it turns out the CIA and other agencies knew, and people in the hotel rooms had broken in to their rooms and looked at their maps and their plans. Well, yeah, that's what the FBI from California to Florida, from New York to Michigan, from Oklahoma to you name it, they were putting memos in. They're planning to hijack jets, probably fly them into the World Trade Center. Let us bust them. Let us stop them. These flight schools are all suspicious. You will not do anything about them. You will do nothing. And then you've even got actor James Woods watching them do a drill of taking over the plane in front of him, saying it was like they were practicing for hijacking 2 weeks before 9/11. He tries to warn people and is told to shut up. And the list goes on and on and on. And that's just one area of who are these hijackers. Then you get into NORAD stand-downs. Then you get into the U.S. troops massed in and around Afghanistan. Bush signs a launch order to attack Afghanistan the day before 9/11. It goes on and on. And now Wikileaks comes out and tries to bolster that story, but within it, you see the real story of how the FBI now claims they're running around the Middle East, now trying to capture these men because they know their names. But it turns out the government knew about this day one. Of course, they ordered these people not to be tracked down, just like they can't get Osama bin Laden. And then you look at the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt and what's happening now. And who are they working for? The CIA.
Hello. At ofthefield.com, we strive to empower you with wild food preparedness. We get lots of amazing positive feedback, most of which we feature on ofthefield.com. Here's a small sample of all that people like you have to say about the wild food experience.
I have about 15 wild food guides on my bookshelf, which left me wondering if I even needed another book. Boy, was I wrong. My knowledge exploded to an entire universe of wild foods.
In olden days, it was the norm to know which plants are edible and which are not.
Dear Linda, just wanted to let you know I received your book today. Wow.
I watched the DVD last night. I was awestruck. What wonderful work you have done. This information can bless many people. Thank you again.
Thanks again.
Your book has given me the most hope and inspiration. Thank you.
Folks, thanks for letting us help you get back to basics. Read all of the testimonials at ofthefield.com. You can order online for you and your loved ones or call 1-888-51-EAT-FREE to share in the secret.
Gold isn't for you? Ted Anderson, president of Midas Resources, one of the world's premier gold and precious metal investing firms. I get it. You wouldn't buy gold if you believed that the government is doing a great job, that the Fed will stop handing out trillions of dollars like bailout candy, that Social Security would be there for you. That's not what's happening. You might even pass on gold if the stimulus package wouldn't fuel inflation, or that the dollar wouldn't lose value, or that your retirement would be secure. If all looks rosy to you, then now is not the time to buy gold. For the realist, there have never been more sobering reasons to diversify with gold. Since 2001, the U.S. dollar index has tanked 30% while gold has risen 300%. Right now, savvy investors are adding gold to their portfolios. You should too. Find out what they know. Call us and I'll send you 10 reasons why gold will do very well, free. 800-686-2237. 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As they're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
I have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
9 years, thousands of clients worldwide, amazing results. And here's more proof of the effectiveness of how Heart and Body Extract supports good circulation and healthy arterial flow.
My name is Crystal. I'm a 45-year-old and live in Houston, Texas. I was diagnosed with having mitral valve prolapse 10 years ago. My cardiologist said surgery and drugs was the only thing he could offer me.
What did Crystal do?
I ordered Heart and Body Extract in August 2006. When I first took my first 15 drops, I embraced the formula and could even feel the goodness of the formula starting to work.
Clean, clear arteries are happy arteries after using Heart and Body Extract. Learn more at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. HB Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
Here's what I want to do. I want to throw the phone number out. Wide open phones on any subject you want to discuss, but obviously the big focus for myself today is the situation in Egypt. We're going to be going over the latest developments there. And WikiLeaks, the 9/11 data dump they've put out, re-energizing the fear-mongering about al-Qaeda having dirty bombs, terrorists having nukes, high-tech chemical and biological weapons. And we do have Kurt Haskell, the attorney, who's been completely vindicated, and everything he said has been proven to be 100% true, joining us in the last 30 minutes of the broadcast today. But the toll-free number to join us is 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231, and we will get you up and on the air today. In fact, coming up in the next segment. But getting into the WikiLeaks situation, here are the fear-mongering headlines, just some of them. WikiLeaks, FBI hunts the 911 gang, the 9/11 gang that got away. The FBI has launched a manhunt for a previously unknown team of men suspected to be part of the 9/11 hijackers, the Telegraph can disclose. And that's the latest WikiLeaks documents that have been released going back to 2001 and then reissued another government report last year. But they were not previously unknown. When you read the article and you read the new WikiLeaks documents, it states that the CIA knew all about this. Well, we know they knew, and that the government ordered the FBI to stand down. The FBI agents went public. It was on the cover of Newsweek and Time Magazine, and Kathleen Rowley and Sybil Edmonds, the FBI translator, who was listening on the day of 9/11. And she had a federal gag order put on her, but she broke that about a year and a half ago and said the government's running narcotics, there's private contractors involved, they're running white slaves, that means sex slavery, and they were commanding al-Qaeda on the day of 9/11. That's what she said in court. In court. And we have the clear image from all the other reports that this is confirmed. So they have this article going, oh, boy, this shows how real 9/11 was. This shows there were these other hijackers that were supporting them and casing things and doing all this. And the government now suddenly is, this has been released through WikiLeaks, that this was previously unknown. But it's previously unknown to the FBI. The rest of the intelligence agencies knew exactly what was going on. And that just fits into the larger history of that ongoing cover-up. Another report here, WikiLeaks, tensions in the Middle East and Asia has direct potential to lead to nuclear war. See, we've got to continue to be in the Middle East. We've got to continue all these wars. Oh, isn't it terrible now that all this is happening? Oh, things are unstable. And then Obama comes out yesterday when we weren't sure whether Hosni Mubarak was going to give the speech saying that he would step down in September and that his son would not try to be the new dictator, the new Western installed dictator. And Obama comes out and says, it's time for you to step down. Fully showing the policy of the people that run this government is to betray their henchman, who's a terrible guy. But now, who do they have waiting in the wings? The Muslim Brotherhood, admittedly MI6 controlled, radical Muslims saying they want to overthrow Saudi Arabia, they want to overthrow Yemen, they want to overthrow and set up an Islamic State in Cairo. They're in the capital of Egypt, that they want to overthrow the globalist ally Jordan. They want radicals in there. They want, if they don't have the Soviet Union, it's going to be a Muslim threat. And then they get to have the $1 trillion defense budgets. They get to set up a domestic police state. They're fighting the radical Muslims. And these countries, globalist installed, can then churn out armies of real terrorists. That is, people that fight the West. And you can have the clash of civilizations. And they always